A lot of things to be excited about here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The new turf at H.A. Chapman Stadium, the new Golden Hurricane beer for the fans, and new head coach Trey Lamb leading Tulsa into a fresh era. You're watching The American on ESPN. Tulsa welcomes Abilene Christian. Welcome upstairs inside H.A. Chapman Stadium here in Tulsa alongside a guy that played a decade in the NFL, Lige Douzable. I'm James Westling. New coach Trey Lamb, what does he bring to the table for the Hurricane?
Well, James, in this era of college football where there's so much turnover on the roster, if there's any one coach that's prepared for that, it's Trey Lamb, because he's been at 3 different places the last 3 years. You see it right there on the screen. Gardner-Webb wasn't expected to win there. He turned the program around. East Tennessee State, look at what the record was before he got there. 3-8, 7-5 last year, and now he comes over to Tulsa trying to revitalize this program. You see it, 51 newcomers, 34 transfers. He's one coach that can adapt to the new era of college football.
And on the other side for ACU, this is basically a homecoming game for head coach Keith Patterson. He spent a lot of time here in Tulsa, and his team, they had a really good year last year.
Yeah, they really did, and this isn't a normal game for head coach Keith Patterson. You talked about it. This guy is from here. He got his collegiate coaching career started here. He was married here, right here on this campus. His nephew played football here. His daughter married a Tulsa football player. But James, when we sat down and talked to him, he said, none of that matters, right? When the ball is set, the whistle is blown, the ball is kicked off, it's all about handling your business and doing your job to the best of your abilities. But trust me, he wants this game because this is a special place for him.
Patterson in his 4th year at the helm for ACU, and 11 players on the roster from the state of Oklahoma, including 3 starters in the secondary, and they're all high-level guys.
And James, we sat down and talked to him about that because there's going to be juices flowing for those 11 players. And I said, Coach, what was your message to those players and for yourself, because you're essentially coming back home? He said, you know what, dudes, we didn't even talk about it. Right? I didn't talk about coming home. But again, when the ball is set, the whistle's blown, and you kick off, it's all about locking into your assignment. That was his message to his team.
Ball trip back deep for ACU. Tulsa won the toss. They deferred to the second half. After the touchback, we will see the Abilene Christian offense, who hung 51 points on Texas Tech from the Big 12 in their opener last year, won 9 games, and they're quarterbacked by Stone Earl, who started his playing career with the Wildcats, transferred then to North Texas, then to Marshall, threw 7 touchdowns last year with the Thundering Herd. He is calm, he is confident, and he's back in Abilene.
Yeah, a veteran player. The ball really snaps out of his hands. You talked about him coming from Marshall last year. Remember on that first drive versus Ohio State, he took the ball down the field and scored on the first drive and was comfortable throwing the football down the field.
Quarterback draw on 1st and 10, tugging forward close to the 30-yard line. He picks up 3, maybe 4, and Coach Patterson said he can extend plays with his legs.
And one thing you notice about this ACU offense, they have high tempo. They're going to be on the ball. A lot of times they're going to snap it with like 25 seconds on the clock still.
Earl, handoff. This is Jordan Vaughn getting the start, the transfer from Wyoming, trying to sweep left, picks up a yard to the 30, and it's 3rd down and 5 for the Wildcats.
Third down, they slowed the tempo down, want to communicate on offense. It'll be interesting to see defensive coordinator from Tulsa, Josh Reardon. Seems like he's only going to rush 4 and drop in coverage here.
First pass of the game. Earl trying to keep it alive, and he's buried. It's a Tulsa sack, a loss of 2. Byron Turner hit him first, the transfer from Florida State.
So he brings 5. You see number 0 right in the center right there, Ray Coney. He's the one that gets the initial pressure up the middle. He does a nice job, James, disguising that, because it looked like it was just zone coverage. At the snap, he blitzes as a 5-man zone dog, which they dropped in cover 3. Nice job getting pressure, and then his Hurricane mate coming and collecting the sack.
3 and out for Abilene Christian. Hugo Nash on to blast it away. Tulsa return man Zion Booker reels it in with the fair catch at the 30-yard line. A 43-yard punt. And for Tulsa, it's a familiar face at quarterback. Kirk Francis, back for another year, started the first 6 games last year, battled through some injuries, played in 7 total, had a career-high 299 yards in the Tulsa opener a season ago.
He has poise in the pocket, savvy pocket awareness. He doesn't put the ball in harm's way. It'll be interesting with a new offense led by head coach Trey Lance, how he develops in this offense and continues to grow, because for Trey Lance, he just wants to build confidence in this young quarterback.
Trey Lamb in, Kevin Wilson out. Tulsa won 3 games a season ago. They swing it out to Braylon Presley, who has a new position this year. Lightning speed and a 12-yard gain, good for a first down.
And just like ACU, warp speed on this offense. We were talking to Trey Lamb. He was saying that we want to snap the ball with like 30 seconds on the play clock.
Presley in motion. They sweep it to him. And he's submarined back at the 36-yard line. Plumlee and Mukes come up from their safety positions to make the tackle. It's a loss of almost 6 yards.
Yeah, and Jordan Mooks is making the transition from corner to safety this year. He does a nice job in that alley. They just want to get Braylon Presley from Tulsa on the edge. You saw it in the first 2 plays, just using his speed to get to the perimeter.
3 players in this Abilene Christian secondary who transferred from the Oklahoma Sooners. Pitch and catch, reeled in by Mekhi Miller, new to the Tulsa program, a transfer receiver from Missouri where he played and started in 5 games a season ago.
And I like that throw right there by Kirk Francis. Just get the ball out of your hand. It's a timing route. Quick stop right on the outside. Finds his receiver in rhythm. Gets half of that yardage back for the loss on the play before.
3rd down and 8 for the Tulsa offense. From its 45-yard line, Francis dancing overshoots his intended target, running back Dominic Richardson, and it's 4th down for the Golden Hurricane, and they will punt.
One thing you'll notice about defensive coordinator Nick Holt, on 3rd down, he'll switch up the front. It'll be 3-man front right there. He had a 3-man front, but then he mugged the middle linebacker. Will Schaefer's in the middle. Looks like it was going to be blitz, but it was just a 4-man rush. They dropped the left end. They go in zone coverage. Nice job in coverage by the Wildcat defense to get off the field on 3rd down.
Angus Davies is back to be the Tulsa punter this season. Low line drive kick floating inside the 10, and an excellent tackle made back at the 9-yard line.
Timeout on the field.
Jalen Kennedy with the stop. Timeout on the field. Both teams have possessed the ball once here in the early action. All right, Ligier, walk us through your do's and don'ts for when Abilene Christian's on offense.
Get quarterback Stone Earl involved in the run game. Earl is a competitive runner with the football and hard to bring down. He gives you +1 advantage when he runs the ball. Use his mobility early and often, and don't for the Tulsa defense. Don't allow the ACU fast tempo to hurt you. The Wildcats run a up-tempo offense, so for the Tulsa defense, communication will be key. Everyone has to be on the same page. Get the call, communicate it, line up, and play ball.
A crease for the running back, Jordan Vaughn, a gain of 9. Williams and Coney combined on the tackle. 2nd and inches for ACU. Play fake, they dump it underneath. It is caught, making a man miss. J.J. Henry on the loose. Out to around midfield, the transfer from Ole Miss. A 4-star recruit out of high school, played in 23 games for Ole Miss prior to his transferring to ACU.
Nice throw by Stone Earl right there. Just a tempo throw, rhythm throw to J.J. Henry. And we talked about him to offensive coordinator Graham Harrell. He says if guys miss him at the line of scrimmage, he has the speed to take it the distance. You saw right there, missed tackle, gets about 20 extra yards after he made that guy miss.
It was a gain of 26, and Earl picks up 7 more.
Just talked about it in the do's and don'ts, James, right? You got to get him involved in the run game. He's such a competitive runner, and he gives you that +1 advantage. You have to account for him in the run game. You saw it, didn't like what he saw down the field, took off and ran.
Stone Earl in trouble, goes down. A loss of 2. Brings up 3rd down and about 5 for Abilene Christian.
That was a nice job by number 11, Jaden Burnett. They try to go quarterback draw right there. He puts the tackle right on top of Stone Earl. He had nowhere to go. He ends up going down and doesn't gain any yardage.
From right at the 50-yard line. Over the middle, reeled in by Henry, his 2nd catch. Good for an Abilene Christian 1st down.
Veteran quarterback sees the pressure coming, knows where the void is in the defense. Tulsa decides to send 6 players. There was a void over the middle of the field. He finds his slot receiver, J.J. Henry, for a 1st down.
A gain of 12. Stone Earl has completed his first 2 passes for 33 yards on this drive. Vaughn, stutter step, hits the hole close to the 40. ACU had a program breakthrough last year. They won 9 games, won the league, got their first FCS playoff win since 2010, making it to the 2nd round. They feel like they have really started to build some momentum within this program.
Yeah, Coach Patterson's done a really good job with the Wildcats now. They brought in some new players, Stone Earl, a few receivers, a couple defensive players, defensive linemen, but the core players are still on this team, and that's important in college football because it's rare, because there's always so much roster turnover. So they look to be good again, ranked number 16 in the FCS poll in the preseason this year.
Henry beats Williams to reel in another catch, his 3rd. That's good for 8 yards to move the chains. It's a 1st down for ACU.
You would think Stone Earl has played with J.J. Henry for a few years. He obviously trusts his slot receiver, has a lot of confidence in him. He continues to go to him in pivotal situations.
8th play of the drive for Abilene Christian. They've already marched 57 yards into plus territory. Earl on the quarterback keeper gets outside and has a 1st down run of 13 yards.
This is a nice job by Stone Earl. Zone read, the in crash down, and gets to the outside. But look at the blocking right there. Dallas Dudley, number 13, he allows Stone Earl to get outside. The corner has contained there, but because of the good block by number 13, Dallas Dudley, he springs them free for that 1st down run.
They were an efficient offense a season ago, top 15 in the country in 3rd downs and 4th downs. And they scored on 86% of their red zone trips. They're in the red zone here as they pitch it out to Vaughn for a few more. It's 2nd down. They mark him out around the 15-yard line.
Stone Earl is just in the rhythm. He knows where the pressure is coming from. He knows where the void in the defense is, and he's just getting rid of the ball right away.
Tenth play of this drive. Banks. Burrows to the 12. Third and 2 for ACU. Tempo, Banks sidestepping and wiggling to the 9-yard line. Good for a first down. Coney, the stopper for the Tulsa defense.
Nice vision by number 3, Rovon Banks, who is a local prodigy, right? This is a homecoming for him. Right there, Tulsa had it stacked up, but he side jump step to the right, was able to find some space, get downhill, and get a first down.
First and goal for Abilene Christian. Earl swings it out, dropped in the flat by Banks.
And ACU had exactly what they wanted. Right there, you have your running back, Rovon Banks, line up against the backup linebacker, Josh Anglin, number 26. And he was out-leveraged, but Rovon Banks is not able to come down with that catch. He most likely would have turned that corner and got into the end zone. A real missed opportunity by the Wildcats offense.
Second down and goal, 13th play of this drive that started at the ACU 10-yard line. And Earl took a shot, overshoots J.J. Henry on the out, and it's third and goal from the 10.
Yeah, he had exactly what he wanted right there. His number 1 target, J.J. Henry, runs a speed out from the slot position. He had space to the sideline, just threw it too far in front of him. We talked about the pressure that affected the throw as well. You're Josh Ridden. You've brought some pressure on third down, and Stone Earl is known where to go. Be interested to see if he just drops some coverage and lets his front 4 get after the quarterback.
Third and goal from the 10. Earl bouncing in the pocket, takes off, hit, drives to the 1. Linto Smith Jr. making the stop for Tulsa. The quarterback picks up 9 yards, and it's fourth and goal from just inside the 2.
Timeout, Tulsa, the first of the half. Timeout on the field.
6:16 left in the first quarter. Fourth and goal for ACU, knocking on the door when we come back to Tulsa.
They set the game clock.
this, Lige, is what you get when you have a fifth-year quarterback.
I talked about the competitive nature of Stone Earl. Look at him drop the shoulder on number 21, Linto Smith Jr. Third down, scans the field, doesn't like it, decides to get north and south, try to get it into the end zone, and that's what Stone Earl provides to this team. A competitive quarterback that if he doesn't like what he sees coverage-wise, he can take off and use his mobility.
4th and goal for ACU. In some trouble, Earl, he didn't get close. Plastered by Ray Coney, the middle linebacker. Turnover on downs.
And that play was made by number 88. You see him on the screen, Kai Johnson. Does a good job at the defensive tackle position, stalling the guard right there. So they run quarterback counter, and the guard wasn't able to get across on the pull, which means Stone Earl had nowhere to go. He was stacked at the line of scrimmage. Ray Coney comes in and cleans it up. But number 88 right there, Kai Johnson does a really good job at the line of scrimmage being physical.
That is a 15-play, 87-yard drive, almost 6 minutes off the clock and no points for ACU. Tulsa offense going back to work and handing the ball off to Dominic Richardson.
And this is what you'll see. Like, you'll see warp speed from this Tulsa offense, and then sometimes they'll huddle it up and slow it down.
Coaches think Richardson has 1,000-yard back potential. He's out across the 10 to the 11-yard line. Rashawn Miles makes the stop for the Wildcats.
And that's what he provides right there. He's a power back, right? They talked about this lightning and thunder with Richardson and then Braylon Presley being the lightning, the speed guy to get on the outside. And like we talked about, they switch it up, James, right? They just huddled up the play before. Now they're already back on the ball.
3rd and 1. Richardson, sidestep, hit, driving forward. Tremendous effort, and Tulsa moves the sticks.
And that was actually really good penetration by the defensive line from the Wildcats. I believe number 95, Cortland Rousseau, gets in the backfield. That's a nice jump cut right there by Dominique Richardson, and then he finishes the run with some physicality.
Richardson is the thunder. Braylon Presley is the lightning. They swing it out, stepping through a tackle. Booker out to midfield. Plumlee makes the touchdown saving tackle. First big play from the Tulsa offense.
Quick screen play, but look at the outside. Number 80 right there, Brody Foley. He does a really good job blocking Tyson Williams out. That allows the receiver to get up the field and get that explosive play. That's a nice job by the tight end out there on that screen, creating a lane for his receiver.
Goes for 36 yards. 1st and 10 Tulsa. They have ventured into ACU territory for the first time. 3-man rush through the hands of Presley, who was a receiver last year for the Golden Hurricane. They have moved him to running back, and that was Presley's idea.
Yes, and it's because he's such a dynamic weapon, right? We've already seen a speed sweep with him. They've already got him the ball into the flat. And right there, the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes were lucky because tip balls change games, right? That ball up in the air is dangerous for an offensive team. Luckily, nobody was there to catch the tip pass off of Braylon Presley's hands.
A pair of Tulsa returners from last year's team in the backfield, quarterback Kirk Francis and the running back Presley. They brought in 56 new players. Checks it down underneath, complete to Micah Teaves. Transfer from Texas A&M, former 4-star, highly touted prospect out of high school, an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, nice timing throw right there by Kirk Francis, just finding Michael Teaves in the void of that zone coverage.
Handoff, Richardson. No gain on the play. Make it Presley, I should say. Alex Bowman Jr., the stopper, and it's 4th and 2. And this Tulsa coaching staff told us we will be aggressive on 4th downs.
They say when they cross the 50, look for him to go for it. But that play was made by number 8, Chris Wright. And I bring up his name because Trey Lamb brought his name up in the meetings. He said, we have to stop number 8 and number 90 from their defense. Kagan Roach and Chris Wright. Chris Wright does a really good job setting the edge and forcing that play back inside.
Francis, pitch out. Richardson has the angle, turning the corner. Bulls his way to the 26-yard line. 14 yards, and Tulsa going with tempo.
Yeah, that's tough for a defensive end. That's Kagan Roach, who we were just talking about. He got out leveraged right there by Richardson, and he's able to turn the corner and get the first down.
Richardson with a hurdle. They mark him out of bounds around the 20-yard line. 6 foot 210. Played running back at Oklahoma State. Was very productive then at Baylor. Transfers to New Mexico State. And wrapping up his eligibility back home here in Tulsa. Allen's checked in at tailback. Picks up 4. Makes it a very manageable 3rd and about a yard for the Golden Hurricane. Allen again. First down run. Corkscrews to the 12.
That's a nice physical run by A.J. Allen, who's getting more carries tonight because Savion Morrison got hurt earlier in training camp, but nice job getting downhill and picking up that first down.
Timeout, Abilene Christian. Their first of the half. Timeout on the field.
The ACU defense is tired. 2:09 left in the first quarter. Well, Tulsa has been much more productive on this drive.
Richardson is a physical back, but he shows you some speed to get to the outside and pick up a first down on 4th down.
11 plays, 85 yards so far. This drive started after a 4th down stop inside the 3-yard line. And Francis is perfect, 3 for 3 for 50 yards on this possession. Going to the air, pumps it near side, nearly reeled in by Josh Smith.
And James, Coach Trey Lance told us in the meetings that 6'4" Josh Smith will get some opportunities in the red zone. He's going to be the jump ball guy. One-on-one opportunity, you can't place a better ball than that if you're Kirk Francis. Josh Smith, I know he would love to have that catch back, but that's nice placement by the young quarterback in Kirk Francis.
Jocelyn Malaska was on the coverage, transfer from Oklahoma. Second down, some window dressing. Presley in the flat. Weaves ahead for just a yard. It's 3rd down and 9. Tulsa can still get a first down inside the 3-yard line.
And that was a heck of a play by number 4, Tyson Williams. He had 2 blockers on him, but he blew up that screen play, and it goes nowhere because he was physical at the point of attack to get off that block and make that play.
Richardson enters the game at running back. Third and 10. 3-man rush. Francis in the hole. It's a touchdown. Zion Booker backpedals to make the catch. And Tulsa is on the board. It's a 12-yard score.
And that's an absolute dot by Kirk Francis because they end up only rushing 3 and dropping 8. Right there down the seam, number 1, Will Schaefer, he has to carry that vertical. You can see him right here in the middle of your screen. He's looking back at the quarterback, but he doesn't get where he needs to get. And that's a nice throw by Kirk Francis. Threading the needle, throwing a layer throw in between the lower defender and the one on top. That was perfect placement by him.
Morgan on for the point after. He boots it through, and Tulsa has their first touchdown under new head coach Trey Lamb. 7-0. Tulsa on top after a 14-play, 97-yard drive that ate up almost 5 minutes on the stadium clock.
And that was nice balance between the run and the pass on that drive, James. The thing that I really love is we're seeing the growth of Kirk Francis, right? He made some big-time throws, right? We saw that one right there on 3rd and 9 in the red zone. Tight coverage and zone coverage. Put it where only his receiver can catch the ball. Trey Lamb talked about growing confidence in his young quarterback. He's got him some easy throws on the outside on screen plays. But when those easy screen plays happen, that's what happened, right? It's the cause and effect. You grow more confidently as a quarterback. You're able to step in the throws, even in tight coverage, and throw straight dots.
Ball trip back deep for ACU. Tulsa has flipped the script after ACU marched all the way down to the 2-yard line, went for it on 4th down and goal. Tulsa with the stop, and 5 minutes later, they're on the board. Ensuing kick, headed for the end zone for a touchback. How does Abilene Christian respond on this drive?
Well, James, they've been actually able to move the ball. They just got stalled out down in the red zone. So it's all about finishing drives. And if you're Coach Patterson, that's what you're telling your offense. Guys, we were able to move the ball at will, essentially, on our drive where we had the football besides the first drive. Now it's just about finishing. So, again, get Stone Earl involved with his mobility because that has been one of their better weapons tonight.
Coach Patterson was the Conference Player of the Year last year for Abilene Christian, was an assistant here at Tulsa from 2003 to 2010. Has over 40 family members in attendance here tonight. They pitch it out, hard, tough run by Jordan Vaughn. A gain of 9. He's an impressive running back, the transfer from Wyoming.
And he's hard to bring down, standing at 6'3", 240 pounds. You see right here the contact balance. He bounces off a few guys and gets 9 yards.
Straight up the gut into the teeth of that Tulsa defense. Good for a first down. It's a gain of 2. The ACU offensive coordinator is Graham Harrell. The record-setting Texas Tech quarterback, spent some time in the NFL, was the OC at West Virginia, among other stops. He's back home. Earl taking a shot deep, single coverage, it's caught inside the 20. Javon Gibson, 42 yards, a bomb from Earl.
And James, we talked about Javon Gibson too, offensive coordinator Graham Harrell. And he's a bigger receiver, right, at 6'4", 215 pounds. But people will say he's not fast, but he's deceptive fast. He has that long stride, and you saw it right there.
Shot for the end zone. Flag comes in. Defensive pass interference. Elijah Green was on the coverage. Dallas Dudley, the intended target.
Yeah, Elijah.
Pass interference, number 7, defense. Automatic, first down.
Elijah Green was actually in a really good position. He actually got his head around, but he's continuing to jockey and push, and you see it right there with the ball in the air. He shoves the receiver right when it's coming down. Easy call for the ref every time.
That's the first penalty of the game. It's been really clean so far. ACU knocking on the door on their second straight possession. First and goal this time from the 5. Vaughn powers to the 2. He is 6'3", 235 pounds, a load to bring down.
That's the end of the first quarter.
ACU knocking on the door when we come back. Tulsa leads it by a touchdown. Leger, don't go buying a house here in Tulsa quite yet. I know you're
nice
feeling
here,
this mid-70s weather.
It's amazing. It's been amazing this week, especially coming from Florida, where as soon as you step outside, James, your skin melts.
Well, they call that they call this the false fall. It's just a taste. Hands it off. Vaughn powers to the 1. Is he in? No, they mark him down just shy. And it will be 3rd and goal for the Wildcats. Their last drive stalled at the doorstep. They had 4th and goal from the 2. They lost a yard. Tulsa went 97 yards the other way for our game's first score. Earl, handoff, Vaughn. He gets slammed into the ground. A loss of a yard, and another 4th and goal coming up for ACU.
It's a nice job by number 32, Hudson Ball. You're going to see him off the edge. Nobody blocks him. And again, it's hard to bring down Jordan Vaughn at 6'3", 235 pounds, but that is a nice job right there by number 32, Hudson Ball, standing up and being physical right at the meet point at the 2-yard line.
4th and goal. Earl keeps it. Earl lunging forward. He is short.
He said he's short.
Another turnover on downs at the goal line.
On the field, the runner short of the goal line to turn it on downs. First down, Tulsa.
And if you're defensive coordinator Josh Reardon, you have to be so excited how your defense has stood up to the task of red zone defense, right? Usually teams that win in the red zone, it gives them the edge to win the game. Look at the penetration in the backfield. That's a nice job. Just shoestring tackling Stone Earl. He tried to reach the ball out, James, but he wasn't long enough to get across the goal line. So that's 2 major stops by this Golden Hurricane defense backed up.
And that knee was clearly down. Tulsa on their 2nd consecutive drive from the shadows of their own end zone, nursing a touchdown lead. Richardson is the running back, and he plows over right guard for a few. Boone Morris, the stopper for ACU. What a lift for Tulsa. It's a bend but don't break defense, and they have stood tall at the goal line.
And that energizes the whole team, right? Team is able to drive the length of the field, but you're able to get a crucial stop twice backed up in your own red zone to give the ball back to your offense.
Richardson out to the 7.
Richardson on the period.
3rd down for the Golden Hurricane.
On the tackle. 4, 3rd down.
Francis looks comfortable operating this offense.
He's gaining confidence with each throw, and for a young quarterback, this is where you want to be in, right? 3rd and manageable. You don't want to live in 3rd and long. He's been able to throw the ball down the field, but they've also gotten him some easy, quick throws to build his confidence.
3rd down. Floats it. What a catch.
Leave it short, though.
Right at the marker. Reeled in by Jacob Emmers, a sophomore who played for the Golden Hurricane a season ago as a true freshman from Plano.
How aggressive, I was
inches.
going to say, how aggressive will Coach Lamb be? He's actually sending on the punt team, which I think is the right call. But that's a nice job right there, defensive coordinator Nick Holt. He sends his linebacker, Will Schaefer, up the middle. That's a nice job by Kirk Francis, right? Staring down the barrel of pressure, being able to throw that out route. The receiver just ran it 1 yard too short.
2nd punt of the night for Angus Davies. His first went for 46 yards. Tees it up, lets it rip. A deep boomer of a punt. Still bouncing.
That's how you flip the field.
There is a flag out as Tulsa downs it inside the 10-yard line, but there is a flag back inside the 5 on the other end of the field. That would go down as an 80-yard punt.
Mr. Davies has been eating his Wheaties. Interesting to see what this flag is.
After a conversation, there was no contact. There is no foul for running to the kicker. Timeout on the field.
Well, that was an 80-yard banger of a punt by Davies.
Yeah, there was no contact right there. ACU Wildcat gets the ball when we come back.
protein and punting.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Davies does after he just blasted an 80-yard punt to completely flip the field.
I mean, that man woke up, ate his Wheaties this morning, maybe had some creatine or something else, because before that punt, James, I believe his long was 59. So if you're Trey Lamb, if you were thinking about being aggressive there, Angus Davies just proved that he can flip the field for you. That is the definition of flipping the field.
What have you seen from ACU offensively? They haven't scored, but they have had the ball inside the 5-yard line on back-to-back trips.
It's been the low red zone woes for them. They've been able to move the ball at will. Stone Earl has been real comfortable using his mobility. He's actually found J.J. Henry on the outside multiple times. They found Javon Gibson down the field. They just haven't been able to finish drives in the low red zone.
1st and 10, and they run it straight ahead for a gain of 5. ACU is averaging over 6 yards on first down run plays. Right knee down after a gain of about 3, so it's 2nd down for the Wildcats.
Wildcats slowing it down on offense. They've been warp speed for most of the game, but Stone Earl just trying to communicate with his offensive line and his receivers.
And this is an entirely new offensive line for ACU. 5 new starters this season. They swing it out to Henry, and Tulsa's all over it. They throw a blanket on him.
I mean, Ray Coney, what a play in space. This is your middle linebacker. He's the guy that controls the defense, and J.J. Henry's one of the better athletes for ACU. They tried his screenplay, and watch how he's able to chase him down and bring him. That's a tough angle tackle if you're a linebacker against a speedy receiver. That's a great play right there by Ray Coney.
ACU 2 for 5 on 3rd downs, 3rd and 7. Press coverage. Handoff. Hudson Ball. Tattoos Banks. 4th down, and ACU goes 3 and out after the 80-yard punt.
See, ACU tried to spread it out and run the ball, right? But Tulsa so blitz at the line of scrimmage, and that's the 2nd time in a row, right? We've seen Hudson Ball make a play off the edge unblocked. That'll be something that I know offensive coordinator Graham Harrell will see. Next time, maybe Stone Earl pulls that ball and gets on the edge, because he continues to crash down and make plays for this Tulsa Hurricane defense.
That was a true freshman who made the tackle. Returnable. Booker weaving, dancing close to the 50. Impressive moves. A 9-yard return, and Tulsa will have excellent field position, by far their best tonight. But Booker is hurt.
Oh, no. And he looks like he's in a lot of pain.
We'll take a timeout. Well, a good sign for the Tulsa faithful as Zion Booker able to get up, walk off to the sideline on his own power. We'll see the Tulsa offense here, 7-0. They have a touchdown lead. Lige, your do's and don'ts when Tulsa has the ball.
Get Kirk Francis in a rhythm early, and they've already done that. Coach Lamb talked about instilling confidence in this young quarterback. The best way to do that is get him in rhythm early to build his confidence, and don't, for the ACU defense, don't allow Braylon Presley to get to the edge. We saw Tulsa do that on the first 2 plays. He's such a dynamic player. Tulsa wants to get him on the edge. If you're the Wildcat defense, you can't allow that.
Francis has connected on his last 3, now making 4 passes in space. Jacob Emmers picks up 6 yards.
Yeah, and Coach Trey Lamb said we have to get him the ball in space. He's one of our better playmakers, getting the ball in space and being able to make guys miss. Another easy throw right there for Kirk Francis.
Richardson, the ball carrier, burst up the middle for a first down. He's been impressive as he gets down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Dominique Richardson, again, he's the thunder to the lightning and thunder. Braylon Presley being the lightning. He's a guy that's not going to go down on first contact.
Richardson wiggling through the secondary. A gain of 11 down to the 29-yard line.
And we're seeing this tempo maybe starting to wear the Wildcat defense down just a little bit because that was a gaping hole, one of the bigger holes that this Tulsa offensive line has created.
Tulsa tempo. They take a shot. The defensive back draped all over the receiver, and there's the flag. Alaska on the coverage. Makai Miller, the intended target.
I don't know about that one, James, but it looks like they're going to call pass interference. Alaska was in good
Pass
coverage.
interference, number 5, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
He looked like he was in good position, and he got his head back around. Let's see it here on the handheld. And it looked like it wasn't catchable either. But I guess they're saying that right arm was maybe wrapped around him, and that's why they threw the flag.
It's 1st and 10. Braylon Presley's re-entered at running back, squirts up the middle inside the 10, down to the 9-yard line. And remember, ACU lost 2 defensive tackles to Power 4 schools, Louisville and Arkansas. So it's a new group for the most part for them up front. Play fake, Francis. Off the hands of Booker, incomplete, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, Kirk Francis, that was one of the few passes that sailed on him and went a little high. Zion Booker isn't able to come down with the catch, so they just roll out that quarterback because he's more athletic than people give him credit for, and he's comfortable throwing on the run, just a little high on that pass right there.
10 for 14 in the game for 87 yards and a touchdown. This is 3rd and 5. It's a touchdown lead for the home team, Tulsa. Francis plants, wings it incomplete right through the hands of his tight end, Landon Lucas. It's 4th down for the Golden Hurricane. They'll trot out their kicking unit and give Seth Morgan a chance to add 3.
And right there, number 0, Zion Booker, he goes in short motion and comes back. When we talked to Trey Lamb about that, he's like, I don't motion guys just to motion them. I'm trying to get coverage
They said the game
indicators.
clock, 8 minutes, 50 seconds, 8:50. Thank you.
And once nobody went with Zion Booker, they knew they were dropping out in zone. He tries to find Dominique Richardson over the middle, but again, just a little high and hot on that pass. The Wildcat defense was able to bow their back and hold him to a field goal attempt right here.
28-yard try for Seth Morgan, who was nails a season ago, but he has struggled in practice, and he puts this one right down the pipe. A 2-score lead for Tulsa. It's 10-0 Golden Hurricane after the 28-yarder from Morgan. Welcome back to Tulsa, Oklahoma with Lige Duzable. I'm James Westling. 10-0, Tulsa with the lead. But Abilene Christian has been held twice inside the Tulsa 3-yard line on 4th and goals. Just 2 punts in this contest. The Tulsa offense starting to find their rhythm. Back-to-back scoring drives for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, that's been the tale of the tape, right? The ACU offense has been stalled out right in the low red zone. And we talked about this earlier to begin this game. Kirk Francis has gotten in the rhythm. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. Now, they got stalled out in the red zone there, but they've been moving the ball very efficiently throughout this second quarter.
ACU's bringing it out. Ball trip. Close to the 25-yard line. Abilene Christian's offense has turned out 152 yards so far. We'll get all of ESPN's college football all in one place. The all-new ESPN app you can unlock with the ESPN Unlimited plan or log in with your television provider. It's that easy, the all-new ESPN app. ACU, man, the offense, they have a bunch of yards. They're running the football at a high level. Earl's been fantastic, but no points to show for it.
Yeah, you see it right there. He's been efficient tonight, 6 of 8 for 91 yards. But it all comes down to finishing in the red zone, which they have not done tonight.
0 for 2 in the red zone. Vaughn looking for an alley. Squeezes his pads through to get to the 33-yard line. Ty Newhouse, the stopper for Tulsa, the seasoned veteran up front for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, Newhouse makes that play, but look on the edge, number 32. He's had a day so far. Hudson Ball, he does a good job setting that vertical edge, forcing the ball back inside to Ty Newhouse.
He's a true freshman from Springdale, Arkansas. Second down. Earl to the air, underneath. Henry makes his 4th grab. Short pitch and catch, a gain of 4, maybe 5. Sets up a manageable 3rd down for ACU. They're just 2 for 6 tonight on this critical money down.
But that was a big-time catch and throw by Stone Earl to J.J. Henry as number 1 receiver, because it keeps you in that 3rd and manageable. You want to stay ahead of the chains, because now on 3rd and 2, the legs of Stone Earl become alive, right? You have an RPO option, or they may just run it because he's had a lot of success running the football.
Earl keeps it, and Earl slithers through for a 1st down. His dad played offensive line in the NFL. It's a dual-threat quarterback, back where his career began here at Abilene Christian.
And that's why it's so important in regards to being in 3rd and manageable, because like I said, James, on 3rd and 2, they will run the ball. They trust their veteran quarterback in Stone Earl, and he's a competitive guy. They know he's going to get north and south and pick up a 1st down.
Back to pass, checks it down underneath to a tight end who's upended. Brian Henry, transfer from Houston on the receiving end, picks up 3.
And he's more of their end line blocker. It's a nice job. Has some pressure, is able to get outside, find his tight end in the flat, and get a positive gain.
Abilene Christian, 167 yards of total offense in this 1st half. Play fake, pop pass over the top. Tulsa's there, no gain. Luke Moffitt makes the catch for ACU. Zach Williams was all over it.
That's a nice job, right? Because it's almost like a throwback to the tight end. You got everything veering to the left, and then you bring your receiver back across the formation. But nice job by Zach Williams. Responsibility defense, being where he needed to be to hold that to no gain.
Tulsa, their 2nd of the half. 30 seconds.
Tulsa takes their 2nd timeout. Well, both coaches...
Please set the game clock at 6:19, 6:19.
Both staffs said we want a clean game. No turnovers, no silly penalties. Both teams so far, it's been a clean game.
Yeah, except for the Wildcat offense not finishing in the red zone, because those, for the defensive side, thinking is essentially a turnover, right? They were able to stop them twice and turn the ball over. But you talked about it, right? Everybody wanted to play clean football. That was the first thing that both coaches brought up, like just watching week 0 and watching games earlier in the week. So many turnovers in college football to start college football season. So both of these teams really harp to their players that we need to take care of the football. No dumb penalties, no pre and post snap penalties. And it's been a pretty clean game so far.
9-5 last year. Conference champs, lost in the second round of the FCS playoffs, nearly took down Texas Tech. About this time last year, they lost in overtime, 52-51. Stone Earl steps in for McIver, who threw for almost 4,000 yards a season ago, had over 30 touchdowns. And Earl has looked the part so far in this first half. Only thing missing are points. Abilene Christian has moved the football at will. 3rd and 6. Earl backside pressure, and he's buried back at the 35. A Tulsa sack. Brian Turner.
And this offensive line is struggling. They're turning the protection right, which means there's a clean blitzer, which means Stone Earl is responsible for that guy. They sent one more than they had a protection. You got the coverage indicated because he motioned his running back, Jordan Vaughn, out. The linebacker went with him. That lets you know it's man coverage. If you're Stone Earl, you have to know where the void is when they're bringing pressure. Doesn't get the ball off. Nice job by the Golden Hurricanes to get off the field on 3rd down.
ACU on the punt. Takes an ACU bounce, and they down it around the 23. Under 6 minutes to play in the second quarter, new look Tulsa offense. Over 90% of their rushing production gone, receiving production, and then all those touchdowns out the door.
And that's the era we're in college football, right? Joe Williams was a player on this team last year. He's in Colorado. They lost another receiver to graduation. So when Trey Land came in, we saw it earlier, 51 newcomers, right? 34 transfer players alone, really trying to rebuild this thing the right way.
Coach said they have a top 5 NIL roster in the American. 56 new players. Richardson twisting forward to the 26-yard line.
And I like this wrinkle that Trey Lamb has brought to this game, right? 2 back sets. We saw the motion right there by number 23, Dominique Richardson, but then also A.J. Allen is in the backfield and he hands the ball off. So 2 back sets, being very creative on offense.
And Trey Lamb comes from the air raid era, but he understands the importance of rushing the football. Richardson up the middle to the 31. Plumlee the stopper. Who's winning the point of attack in the trenches?
It's been about even. I would say the last couple drives, Tulsa offensive line is starting to get some movement. We talked about it on their last drive when they came away with the field goal. That was one of the bigger holes we saw Dominique Richardson run through. So Tulsa's offensive line is starting to gel and starting to move their weight around a little bit.
How about Francis on the keeper? He's not much of a runner. Picks up the first down. And the coaches said, we don't need him to be Superman. We need him to be Clark Kent.
Correct. They just want him to be able to be essentially a point guard, distribute the football. And I talked about it earlier. He's not the best athlete, but he's a better athlete than most people give him credit for.
Play fake. Sidearm throw. That was sweet. Booker on the receiving end.
I mean, this kid is tough as nails. We talked about it earlier. Will Schaefer comes on the middle blitz. He throws a speed out, doesn't flinch at all. Right there, same thing. Changes the arm angle, throws it from the side because that's the only way he can get that completion out there. Takes the hit, throws in rhythm, and gets a completion on 1st down.
Picked up 6 yards and 2nd down and 4. Presley, sweet play. Venturing into ACU territory. He is lightning in a bottle. Made Bruce Feldman's Freaks list, the preseason list, honoring guys who do it in the weight room. He's a tremendous athlete. 1st down for Tulsa. Presley again, sliding through, down to the 36. A gain of 11 on the quick hitter.
I mean, the offensive line is starting to move their weight around, right? The right side of that offensive line, number 80, right there, Brody Foley, does a really good job caving that right side to allow A.J. Allen to get downhill and pick up that 1st down run.
Plumlee's been a tackling machine for ACU. That was his 7th stop. New set of downs for Tulsa. A jump cut, and Richardson barreling his way into traffic to the 31.
And it seems like on this drive, if you find number 80, Brody Foley, that's where the football is going. He's doing some dog work at the line of scrimmage and being physical at the point of attack.
And he is 6'6", 260 pounds, a transfer from Indiana. The coaches were raving about him last night.
Yeah, they think he could be an all-conference player in the American Conference.
8th play of this drive. Presley in at tailback. Quick snap. Flags fly. False start, Tulsa.
Yeah, I believe Michael Tees jumped a little early there.
False start. Number 0, offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down. The clock will start on the snap.
So that makes it 2nd down and 10. Francis has connected with 6 different wide receivers tonight. Snap throw on the edge. Booker pushed out of bounds after a gain of 5. 3rd down for Tulsa tonight. On 3rd downs, they are 4 for 8.
That was a nice job by number 1 for this Wildcat defense, Will Schaefer, who's the preseason Defensive Player of the Year in their conference. He does a nice job defeating that block on the screen and holding that to a small gain.
A line change for ACU defensively.
Trey Lamb may let this go down to the 2-minute timeout.
There's the current drive, 8 plays, 42 yards, 3.5 minutes. And we've reached
2-minute timeout.
the 2-minute timeout. Tulsa on top, 10-0, looking for more right before the half. Little Tulsa fan fest before the game. Tremendous atmosphere just outside the stadium. Checks all the boxes for the families, for the students. This is a huge drive and a key 3rd down for the Golden Hurricane. 3rd and 9, Richardson, stutter step. Not anywhere close to the 1st down marker, but this is probably 4 down territory as they get down to the 33.
Yeah, and head coach Trey Lamb said he would be aggressive when they crossed the 50. Seth Morgan has really struggled in camp, so he's like, most likely, if it's anything probably less than 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7, I'm most likely going for it. And right here, 4th and 7, he held to his word. A bit surprised Abilene Christian didn't call a timeout right here.
There's a big difference between being down 17-0 at the half and 10-0. 4th down for Tulsa. And they won't even snap it.
Timeout, Tulsa, the 3rd and final of the half, 30 seconds. We set the game clock to 1:13, 1:13.
They'll put an extra second on the game clock.
Thank you.
Hey, the American on ESPN Plus is home to 40+ college football games, over 1,000 exclusive live events, and every American Conference championship throughout the season. For more information and to sign up, visit stream.espn.com. A fresh start for Tulsa's football program. It's been re-energized with the young up-and-comer Trey Lamb in his mid-30s. Takes over after 1 year at East Tennessee State, where they had not had any recent success. He wins 9 games a season ago. Before that, he took Gardner-Webb to their first FCS playoff appearances back-to-back years.
It looks like they will go for it. The offense is out there. And if you're the Wildcat defense, watch the ball, right? Do not be surprised if you get a dummy cadence from the Tulsa Hurricanes, just trying to get a free 5 yards here.
This is too long to kick a field goal, too short for a punt, and the right tackle, Cam East.
False start, number 73, offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
And I think he'd send the punt team out now. And that's what he'll do. And Cam East is a young player. They were excited about this young player. Transferred from Ole Miss. He's making his first start tonight. But he's such an imposing player at 6'7", 310 pounds. Young mistake right there by Cam East. Looks like they were going to go for it, but after the false start, they're going to punt it away.
The coaches believe he's a future pro. Cam East, the right tackle. They think he'll play on Sundays. Davies has to lay off this one after his last one was an 80-yarder. Floats it beautifully to land inside the 10. They mark it down at the 9-yard line.
That was the old pitching wedge right there, James, right? Had a nice little backspin to it, stopped right at 9. And the crazy thing is he looks like he's upset about it. Like he wanted to get that even closer to the goal line, especially having that after having that 80-yard punt.
He was a really good punter last year for Tulsa. He's kind of a hidden weapon. ACU just a little over a minute left before the half. How aggressive are you on this drive?
I would be aggressive. You're the underdog, right? You've been able to move the ball up and down the field. You just stalled out in the red zone, and they have a big catch radius receiver in Javon Gibson. We already saw him make a play down the field. Obviously, J.J. Henry, if you get it to him in space, he can make a few guys miss. So they have a veteran quarterback. I expect Graham Harrell to be extra aggressive on this drive.
They'll run it on 1st down. Turning the corner, Vaughn. Jordan Vaughn's out to the 16-yard line. Gain of 7. Clock is ticking. ACU has 2 timeouts remaining. Another run play. And Vaughn is swallowed up at the 15. He loses a yard, maybe 2, and it's 3rd down.
And I think now they'll take it in the half. If he had picked up the 1st down, maybe they go up tempo. But because he was stopped right there, I think they're going to take their time on 3rd down, because the last thing they want to do is give the ball back to the Golden Hurricanes.
This first half has had a ton of yards on both sides. Abilene Christian has been turned away on 4th and goal inside the 5-yard line twice.
Looks like that might be the last play of the half.
If you're ACU, how do you feel? Still within striking distance here at the break.
You still got to have a lot of confidence because you have been able to move the ball up and down the field. The defense has had some crucial stops as well, but you have to be kicking yourself, right, James? Because you got stopped at the 1-yard line, you got stopped at the 2-yard line, and you had opportunities to potentially be leading this game right now.
At the half, Tulsa leads Abilene Christian 10-0. It's a new era for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, and they have a halftime lead here at home.
Welcome into Studio A. I'm Maria Tribalpiece. Another week and another fall sport begins. Men's soccer has entered the chat, and with it, it's brought some top plays. We'll begin with the Bulls of South Florida. They're trailing Lipscomb 1-0. Looks like this ball is going to be cleared, but Nicholas Pietranitino says nope, lasers that ball in the back of the net. For play number 4, we have some women's soccer for you now. UTSA's Brooklyn Bailey. You'll see her soon in this clip in front of the net. She gets the ball and heads it into the goal for the Roadrunners. As we saw in the last clip, great goals are set up with great passes. Here's Florida Atlantic's Eli Conway gets a great pass to score a great goal. Our number 2 play shows off some Tiger creativity. Memphis women's soccer, they have a ton of players on that back post. One of them is Talia Brooks. She finds the back of the net with the pretty kick. I must warn you, in these next few clips, you are not seeing deja vu. This is Missouri State's Fumi Shiraishi. Scores 1 goal, and then he says, you know what, I think I'm going to do it again. Finds the back of the net for the Bears. He's not done yet, though. How about a hat trick for Fumi? But you see that title says 4 for Fumi? Well, because he had 4 goals in this game. Here's that last one. Oh my goodness, Missouri State wins this one 4-1. If you see a top play this week, make sure you use the hashtag American Top Plays on social. Now, let's get you back out to some more action.
Back here at H.A. Chapman Stadium at the half. Tulsa leads Abilene Christian 10-0. The first half highlights are coming up next. It's halftime here in Tulsa. halftime here in Tulsa. Tulsa, the home team, leads Abilene Christian 10-0 at the break. And welcome back upstairs here at H.A. Chapman Stadium. Lige Duzable, James Westling. Well, this is the most exciting, highest scoring 10-0 game that we've ever been a part of. There has been plenty of offense.
Plenty of offense. Both offenses are moving up and down the field, but we talked about the ACU Wildcat offense. They've stalled out in the red zone, and also the Wildcat defense has made some big stops. Kurt Francis had that one touchdown drive and also got a field goal. But like you said, it's been a lot of offense, just not a lot of points.
We'll see how things turn around in the second half. Abilene Christian, they have moved the ball up and down the field. 2 4th-and-goal stops by the Tulsa defense. What type of an impact did that have?
It was massive. I think it ignited the offense for Tulsa because they had a little bit of a lull earlier in the game. But after those stops, seems like Kurt Francis and the offense got some juice from that defense, and they were able to move the ball around, give it to different people. Braylon Presley on the outside. Zion Booker has had a really good game. Michael Tease has gotten involved in the game as well. But to me, the most important thing for this Tulsa Golden Hurricane offense is Kurt Francis seems like he's calm and he's in rhythm.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. First for Abilene Christian. Again, a lot of offense, just no points to show for it.
Yeah, Stone Era, we talked about it during the first half. It seems like him and J.J. Henry have been throwing pitch and catch for years because he's done a really good job just finding space in zone coverage, throwing in rhythm, throwing in timing, finding his #1 receiver. There he is again in zone coverage, being able to find a void in zone coverage. He was his #1 target in the first half. They have a real nice connection. But we talked about it, James. This Tulsa Golden Hurricane defense, bend but don't break. Kurt Francis getting in rhythm, finding Zion Booker right there on the screenplay, gets 26 yards there. And right here, out-leverage the defense, get to the outside. Dominique Robinson, first down on a pivotal 4th down. And this was an absolute dot, James, to Zion Booker in zone coverage. You see it right there, the linebacker was lost in space. He put it only where Zion Booker could catch the pass.
Tulsa has a 10-0 lead here at the half. We'll take a break. The second half is coming up next. Back here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they are honoring the 1975 conference championship team, the 85 team, and in the 2005 conference championship Tulsa teams. Steve Largent was the star. There's his jersey number. A drone show at halftime. He was on that 75 team. And then how about Lovie Smith on the 85 team? Garrett Mills is in the house. He was a baller tight end on that 2005 conference championship team. Somebody else we know, Lige Douzable. Oh, there he is. Why are you smiling?
Sometimes you got to smile when you tackle a quarterback.
I love that.
My guy Paul Smith was a great competitor. Went against him for 3 straight years in Conference USA. We always had battles with this Tulsa Golden Hurricane team. As you stated it, we lost to them in 2005 in the conference championship. But I got my revenge my senior year, 2007. We beat them at home in the conference championship.
Man, look at that personality. All smiles. I love it, Lige. All right, here's the first half stats. Tulsa, man, they ran the ball at a high level, over 100 yards. Nice balance from the Golden Hurricane.
Without a doubt, Kirk Francis was in rhythm, comfortable throwing the football. But you see it right there. Almost dead even when you talk about the run and pass game. Adversely, even though ACU has gotten some good rush yardage from Stone Earl, they haven't been consistent running the football. But Stone Earl has been very comfortable throwing the football. He's 9 of 11 for almost 100 yards throwing the football down the field. So both quarterbacks are in rhythm in this game.
The difference in this game so far, those trips in the red zone. Tulsa, 2 for 2. Abilene Christian, 0 for 2. And they weren't 19-yard line, 18-yard line trips to the red zone. They were knocking on the door, 4th and goal inside the 3 on both drives. They got stopped.
And that's been the major difference in this game, right? Tulsa was able to finish in the red zone one time and then come away with a field goal, where Abilene Christian is 0 for 2. And usually teams that win the third down, red zone, and turnover battle, it usually gives them a chance to win the game.
Tulsa has the ball to start this second half of action. Dominic Richardson is the running back. They go to the air, trying to set up the screen to Booker. It's incomplete, and it sets up 2nd down and 10. Malaska on the coverage was all over it.
I mean, he's done a really good job triggering right there, and I think these Wildcat defensive backs have kind of gotten a rhythm for some of these screen plays on the outside. Malaska does a really good job attacking the blocker, getting in the backfield, and throwing off the timing between the quarterback and receiver on that screen play.
That same play earlier in the game went for 36 yards for Tulsa. Nothing that time. 2nd and 10, they float it down the boundary up high. Tees trying to wrestle it away from the defender. It's a completion.
I mean, James, that's perfect coverage. Better offense. What a dot by Kirk Francis. Puts it over the top from Michael Tees, only where he can catch the football, but not much Malaska could do right there on coverage.
Tulsa going tempo, no gain. Miles Jr., the stopper. 2nd down and 10. Stretch play. Richardson looking for a lane. Barrels forward for a gain of 5, maybe 6 yards, setting up a manageable 3rd down.
And he's a load to bring down at 6 foot, 215 pounds. One cut downhill on that zone play. Dorian Plumlee felt that on that tackle.
ACU wasn't lined up, and Francis misfires. Wanted Tees. It's 4th down and 4 for Tulsa.
And again, once they crossed the 50, we talked to Trey Lamb. He said he was going to be aggressive. This is a lot different than when they were in this position last time, because it's 4th and 4 instead of 4th and 7.
A.J. Allen checks in at running back. He's an aggressive, young, up-and-comer, an offensive-minded coach, Trey Lamb, in his mid-30s, in his first year, his first game here at Tulsa.
Zone coverage.
4th and 4. Sliding left, Francis taking off. Francis, a juke move. Joysticking inside the 40 to move the chains.
And he made that move on the preseason All-American Will Schaefer, their best defensive player. Right there, 3-man rush. They lose contain. Kirk Francis sees it. One-on-one with their best linebacker. Dead leg, makes a miss, gets upfield and gets a 1st down.
New set of downs for the Golden Hurricane. They've picked up both of their 4th down conversions in this contest. Francis pulls it back, whistles it over the middle. It's complete inside the 25 to Josh Smith.
And Trey Lamb has found something because they're using a lot more RPO this second half, which is a run-pass option. The offensive line is block and run, where Kirk Francis is reading the defense really well. If it's man coverage, he's giving the ball to his receiver. We saw that on Michael T's throw and catch, and then we saw it right there to number 15, Josh Smith.
And that was a gain of 15 yards. Allen submarined after a gain of 2. This will be the 8th play of this drive. It started at the 25-yard line. Francis lofting one-on-one in and out of the hands of Micah T's, incomplete.
That's a nice job by number 5, Malaska. He does a good job getting his head around, not interfering. He got called for that earlier in the first half, but good job staying body to body right there, turning his head around and getting that PBU. And again, Kirk Francis reading the defense really well. RPO knows his man coverage. Take a shot to your receiver, Micah T's.
Tulsa's 4 for 10 on 3rd downs. 10th play of the drive coming up, 3rd down and 8. Richardson, handoff, and he is tattooed in the hole. No gain on the play. Rashawn Miles Jr. with the tackle.
It's a nice job shooting that gap, getting in the backfield and tackling a big physical back. And it seems like Trey Lamb will send out his kicking unit. You see him right here getting down the line of scrimmage, knifing in that B gap and making a big play for that Wildcats defense.
This is about a 40-yarder for Seth Morgan. Last year he was 5 for 9 from 40 to 49. Kick is airborne. Has plenty of distance, and he got it.
But the interesting thing, James, when we were talking to Trey Lamb, he said he struggled throughout training camp, but maybe he's just a gamer. Well, he's been a gamer today, 2 for 2 already. So right there, that instills confidence in your head coach. When your kicker, Seth Morgan, you can count on him to go out there and get an automatic 3.
Tulsa leads it 13-0. Tulsa on top 13-0 after a 40-yard field goal from Seth Morgan to expand on their lead.
And James, we talked about it, right? This ACU Wildcat offense is one drive, one score away from making this a real interesting game. We've talked about it ad nauseum for the entire game. They've been able to move the ball up and down the field. They just have not finished in the low red zone. So your coach, Keith Patterson, you're telling this Wildcat offense, hey guys, we've been able to move the ball. Now let's go finish.
Tulsa has stood tall when it's mattered most. Right at the doorstep, a couple of fourth down stops from inside the 5-yard line. Here's ACU, ball trip, gets outside, ball trip, nice return to the Tulsa 45-yard line. Champ Lewis wrangles him out of bounds. Excellent field position for ACU.
And James, that might be the spark they needed, right? He's been close on a couple of breaking a couple returns out the gate. Remember, that last return he had went to about the 25-yard line, and they were able to shoestring him. But he does a nice job returning that ball back to the field. Let's revisit the do's and don'ts for the ACU offense, right? Get Stone Earl, the quarterback, involved in the run game. I believe he has 22 yards rushing total, but that's with sack yards. I want to say he has over 35 rushing yards. So he's their leading rusher. They've been getting him involved in the run game. And the don't for the Tulsa defense, don't allow ACU's fast tempo to hurt you. We talked about it. ACU's been able to move the ball up and down the field, but this Tulsa defense has stood tall in the red zone.
This drive starts at the Tulsa 49-yard line. Plowing forward, Vaughn met in the hole by Coney, a gain of 2. Earl tonight 9 for 11. He's connected on his last 6 throws. He has 100 yards. ACU hasn't turned it over except for those fourth downs.
Real comfortable in the offense. Veteran quarterback has played a lot of football. He knows exactly where to go with the football when pressure comes.
Second down and 9, 4-man Tulsa front. Back to pass. Breaking in, he completes it to Gibson.
And that was a good read, right? Because he looks like he wanted to go to J.J. Henry, but he saw number 16, Devin Robinson, waiting for that slant route. So he throws it in the second window to Gibson.
3rd and 2, Earl, quarterback draw. Earl trying to plug forward, not much there. Got back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Nakai Johnson and Ty Newhouse stuffed the quarterback.
I mean, they did a really good job of stuffing the offensive line. They wanted to run quarterback draw, but you saw that. They pressed both of the guards inside. Stone Earl has nowhere to go. Nice job by those 2 defensive tackles in the middle for the Golden Hurricane defense.
How do you feel about this call to punt on 4th down in plus territory, down by 13?
I would have gone for it just because your offense has been very efficient. Now, they have been stopped multiple times on 4th down, but your defense has played really well this game as well, only giving up 13 so far in the totality of the game. So I would have went for it, but Coach Patterson decides he wants to play the field position battle.
37-yard punt by Nash. Tulsa starts this drive at its own 6-yard line. With 10 and change to go in this 3rd quarter, 23 players on this Tulsa roster from the Tulsa Metro, 31 from the state of Oklahoma. Kirk Francis, born and raised here in Tulsa, went to a small Christian Academy high school, Metro Christian Academy. Set just about every school record possible there. Comes from a football family. His great-grandfather, Sam Francis, was the Heisman runner-up at Nebraska way back in 1936. Up the gut, Richardson. Some breathing room. The flag is out in that holding zone back at the line of scrimmage.
Legal formation.
Holding, number 23, offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Repeat, 1st down.
So that will put them back at the 3, and there is a player down for Tulsa. The hold was called on Landon Lucas. Abilene Christian, their upcoming schedule, they've got Stephen F. Austin, Big rivalry matchup there next Saturday. Then they go to TCU on the 13th, and then Austin Peay, Incarnate Word, and North Alabama after a breakthrough year last year at the FCS level. Winning 9 games, they won a FCS playoff game for the first time since 2010.
The way they look tonight, looks like they'll be really competitive in the UAC again this year. You talked about they have the rival game with Stephen F. Austin. Then they play another Texas team in TCU 2 weeks from today.
They beat a top 5 team last year in Central Arkansas. They took Texas Tech to the wire, lost in overtime 52-51 week 1 last season. They also beat Tarleton State, who just beat Army last night.
Tarleton State's a really good team. They're a physical team. They love to run the football. Talked about it, James. Beat an Army team. And anytime you beat a team like Army, you know you brought the physical challenge because that's what Army is going to do.
They're ranked number 16 in the preseason FCS poll. Jaquan Adams is the injured Tulsa offensive lineman. Transfer from East Tennessee State where he was with Coach Lamb. He's been with him at several stops. Over 300 pounds. So a new left tackle, Brody Duffel, has entered the lineup for Tulsa. Backed up the shadows of their own end zone. They'll run it with Richardson, and Richardson lucky to get out of there to the 2-yard line. And it's second down and long. Chris Wright and Chris Herpin combined on the tackle.
A little testy down there, James, between the offensive and defensive line. It's a nice job by Chris Herpin right there, fighting off the block and getting in the backfield and getting a tackle for a small gain.
The next score in this game, whoever it is, will be massive. Tulsa by 13. Second and 13. Up the gut goes Richardson. Shimmies out beyond the 5, the 6, the 7-yard line. And it's going to be third and long for the Golden Hurricane after a 6-yard rush.
This thing with Richardson, first contact, he just never goes down. Continue to turn those legs. Looks like that could have been stopped for 2 or 3 yards. He gets about 4 or 5 on that carry.
Third down and 8. Tulsa tonight 4 for 11 on third.
See how aggressive Coach Trey Lamb will be right here with his young quarterback.
A.J. Allen in at running back. Flags fly.
False start. Number 65, offense. After this to the goal line, third down.
That's the left guard, Sean Hill.
He's making his first start tonight as well. We talked about Cam East, their right tackle, making his first start. So Coach said he expected a little bit of this because this young team they were excited to play this game, a little jittery right there. The young player, makes a crucial mistake, jumps off sides.
Hill's a transfer from NC State. He played a lot as a backup. Allen between the tackles. Off the right side. Gets 3 yards. It's fourth down and long, and Tulsa is going to have to punt. Jordan Bukes makes the stop for ACU.
I will say Coach Keith Patterson made a really good decision playing the field position battle, but the way that Angus Davies has punted the ball, I don't know, because he's flipped the field multiple times.
He had an 80-yard send-off earlier in this contest. This is his 4th punt tonight. You can't let it go over your head if you're the return man. Williams trying to get the sideline. Gets a block, and then he's shouldered out of bounds around the 40. So back-to-back drives for ACU will start on Tulsa's side of the 50.
Timeout on the field.
13-0, Tulsa on top of ACU. How about those T-shirts? A house divided.
Literally, I wonder if that's Coach Patterson's family, right? He does have 40 family members here, so it's interesting. Those are some unique shirts right there.
The heart, the two logos, those look like they could be Patterson's. Spent 8 seasons on staff from 03 to the 2010 campaign. Now he's the head coach in his 4th year at Abilene Christian. Oh, a gnarly sack. Back at the 45. Jaden Burnett, the Louisiana Tech transfer, off the edge.
It all started with a bad snap through the timing off with this. He was trying to go to J.J. Henry. They do a nice job in zone coverage. That's just great effort by Jaden Burnett running down Stone Earl from behind.
5-yard loss. It's 2nd down and 15, and ACU is off schedule. Put it in the belly of their running back, Rovon Banks. Snakes his way forward to get down to the 37. Ray Coney, the stopper, sets up 3rd down, and we'll call it about 8.
Yeah, he gets that lost yardage back and gains about 2 more yards. So that's as good as a quick pass right there. We talked about it, James. They were off schedule because they lost 5 yards on the first play. And we were talking about this is a crucial drive for the Wildcats. It's just twice you've been in plus territory. You need to come away with points after this drive.
4-down territory?
I would think so.
Earl looking left, dials it up, and it's nearly intercepted. Dallas Dudley, the intended target. Tremendous coverage by Elijah Green, the true sophomore.
Now, I don't believe they'll go for it because they didn't gain any yards, but this is a long throw from the right hash outside the numbers. You got to be on the money with it. Elijah Green is a young player that I really liked last year. He got banged up early in the season for the Golden Hurricane defense, but he's a long, savvy corner. He does a really good job getting his hand right there in the passing window to knock that ball away.
Hugo Nash on to blast it away, his 5th punt tonight. Sends it right down the chute. Fair caught at the 7, so this drive will start just a yard further than the last one
Timeout on the
that
field.
Tulsa had. Timeout on the field. 6:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. Tulsa up 13-0. Tulsa quarterback Kirk Francis, 14 of 22, 133 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Showing you the athletic ability. People say he's not that athletic. He says, I'll show you on 4th down, make the best player on the Wildcats defense miss, being able to throw the ball down the field on the RPO to Michael T for a big completion. He's been in rhythm, and when he's had to get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs, he's been able to do that as well.
Richardson is the running back. Out to the 11-yard line, trying to find some breathing room. Abilene Christian has owned the field position in this 3rd quarter. But just 8 yards of total offense after 2 nice returns. This is a nice gain for Tulsa out beyond the 20, a 1st down and some real breathing room. Jacob Emmers on the jet sweep.
And that's twice Will Schaefer's been in position to make a play and he missed it. You're going to see him right here to your right screen. He shoots the gap, but he just out of balance and he almost falls down, and Jacob Emmers is able to get to the edge and get a 1st down.
Tulsa airing it out, too far out in front of T's. Blanket coverage over there by Tyson Williams, who's had a nice game for ACU.
It's a really good job using the sideline as an extra defender. He's able to wall him off. Kirk Francis was throwing that more inside, so it would have been hard for the receiver to come up with it. That was a nice job by Tyson Williams, using that sideline as a defender to wall the receiver to the sideline.
Allen's in the tailback. Rotated 3 or 4 different backs tonight. That throw offline. Had his man, Zion Booker, on the deep post, couldn't hit him in stride.
And that's a layer throw. That's the one he had the touchdown pass on earlier to Booker. You have Rashawn Miles in coverage as the linebacker. He's in that first void, and then behind him is a safety. He fits that in right there, just a little bit too high by Kirk Francis.
3rd and long. Francis zeroes in, dials it up. There is a flag out. It's nearly intercepted, a wrestling match for it.
Illegal substitution, 111 in the formation, defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
A break for Tulsa.
And that's what that high-tempo offense will do to you, right? You're trying to substitute, but remember, if Tulsa doesn't substitute, you can't substitute. They can start the play and snap it before you substitute your players. So right there, Trey Lamb with the high-tempo offense gets a free play.
3rd and 5. ACU's defense trying to get off the field. Tulsa has outgained ACU 66-8 in this 3rd quarter. They've been backed up deep in their own territory. Another 1st down. This time through the air, Booker has become Kirk Francis' favorite target here week 1.
Nice job by the offensive line and protection right there. 4-man rush from the Wildcat defense. He's able to find his receiver on a slant round for a 1st down.
Really trying to get Booker involved. He's twisted down, hog-tied at the 41 by Miles Jr. But Booker's been impressive. Transfer from Western Carolina was very productive at that level last year, over 500 yards receiving.
Yeah, Trey Lamb is really testing this perimeter defense for the Wildcats. That's multiple times they've been able to come around that corner on that speed sweep. We saw Jacob Emmers, and then right there we saw Zion Booker pick up 5 yards on 1st down.
2nd down and 5. Handoff. Presley looking to make a move. Jitterbugs right into traffic. No gain. It's 3rd down. Chris Wright was there with Miles Jr.
And we talked about it, right? Trey Lamb's seen something on the perimeter, but Chris Wright that time does a nice job disengaging from the tight end, squaring up his shoulders, and making a play on Braylon Presley in space, which is a tough thing to do because he's a dynamic player in open space.
Tulsa 5 for 13 on 3rd downs. Francis tonight 3 for 6 passing on 3rd. Miscommunication on the exchange. They barely get it off. A broken play, and it leads to freedom. Richardson, touchdown Tulsa. 57 yards to the house.
And I think the timing kind of threw off the Wildcat defense. Guys were out of their lanes, and you see the physicality right here. Plumlee has an opportunity to tackle Richardson. He runs through that arm tackle. He's trying to punch away at the ball. But if you're Plumlee, go for the legs and get him down. Allow your defense to line up and play another snap. He tries to go for the football, doesn't bring down Dominique Richardson because that arm tackle is not going to bring him down. And he gets to pay dirt and extends the lead for the Golden Hurricane.
Richardson lights the fuse. That is a massive score. 8 plays, 92-yard drive for Tulsa. They'll go for 2 to try to make it a 3-score lead. Quick throw, nice catch. The 2-point conversion is good to Presley, and it's 21-0.
But give an assist to Zion Booker, right? They go switch release. They motion Braylon Presley out. It's man coverage, so the corner gets out leverage because Zion Booker just gets in the way a little bit, like he's running a stop route. Throws off that timing for that corner to come around. Braylon Presley, if he allow him to get to the edge, he's going to take it in for the 2-point conversion.
Presley and Richardson having a major impact on that series. And Tulsa leads their largest lead of the game. It's 21-0.
And James, we were talking about it earlier when the Wildcats had the ball in plus territory, how pivotal that drive was, because you said it, James, whoever scores next, it's going to be monumental in this game. And right there, Dominique Richardson is able to break a few tackles, get to the end zone. Then Braylon Presley out in the flats gets a 2-point conversion.
All right, Lige, I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Okay, the good news is that the last time Tulsa won its home opener with a shutout was 14 years ago. They beat Indiana State 51-0.
Okay.
Okay, but the bad news is that would be Tulsa's only win that year. They went 1-10.
Yeah, Coach Lamb doesn't want to hear that. Still a lot of football in this game. 3 minutes, 55 seconds in the third quarter. We still have a fourth quarter. And we talked about it. The ACU offense has been able to move the ball. Now, they've kind of stalled out in the third quarter, but in the first half, they were able to move the ball at will at times.
This time, Tulsa will boot it into the end zone for the touchback. If you're Abilene Christian, you have to be sick to your stomach. You had so many chances. There's still a ton of time left, but this could be a very different game on the scoreboard.
For sure. You just go back to the first half. You stopped twice in the low red zone. But even going back to those 2 drives in the third quarter, James, they got the ball in plus territory. 2 good returns and came away with nothing.
This drive starts from its 25-yard line, their worst field position of the second half. Earl into the air, pumping once, slings it underneath, a gain of 5. Hard hit on the receiver, J.J. Henry.
So they wanted to take a shot down the field, but they had the receiver bracketed up top. I believe that's Dallas Dudley. They were going to take a shot down the field to him, but there was a safety over the top. He ends up just checking it down. That's a nice, savvy veteran play by Stone Earl.
2nd down and 5. Running left, Banks. The Tulsa rushing defense has really tightened up as the game's gone along. Abilene Christian averaging just 3.4 yards per carry. That's without the sacks. If you throw the sacks in, barely over 2 yards per rush.
That's the thing. Stone Earl is their leading rusher. You would like Jordan Vaughn or Rovon Banks to really get involved in the run game. But to your point, the D-line from Tulsa has done a really good job attacking this ACU offensive line and knocking them back. False start by the center. He flinched.
False start. Number 68, offense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Coulter Lynch, the guilty party, redshirt sophomore. Again, 5 new offensive linemen blocking up front for ACU this year.
And James, you harped on this earlier, right? They were in really good position at 3rd and 4, right? 3rd and 3. Now you're behind the sticks, 3rd and 8. You don't want to live in that because we've seen defensive coordinator Josh Reardon brings the pressure. You see it. Look how many guys are at the line of scrimmage. This is like man coverage. You see, looks like single high safety. Looks like they're going to bring pressure here.
3rd and long, 3rd and 8. Play clock winding down.
Here it comes.
Earl gets it off. Takes a shot down the sideline. Coming back to it. Gibson had it wrenched loose out of bounds. It's incomplete. Champ Lewis with tremendous coverage.
And Gibson's their big play receiver down the field. We already saw in the first half, but what a play by Champ Lewis, because Gibson has this catch. But watch him finish the play, rake that ball away. Gibson isn't able to come down with a catch. That is teach tape from number 1, Champ Lewis. And wow, Stone Earl gets smacked by Buda Garrett on a blitz right there.
Hugo Nash on to punt for ACU for the 3rd straight possession in this second half. Backing up the return man, Zion Booker pulls in the fair catch at the 28. The Tulsa defense has really improved throughout the course of the game. What's been the difference?
I think Josh Ritter has put a lot of trust in these DBs. He's doing a lot of man coverage, and they're making some plays down the field. We just saw it right there. Javon Gibson has the ball, but Champ Lewis knocks the ball out and rakes it out at the last second. And he's adding some more pressure to speed up Stone Earl's clock at quarterback. But the biggest thing is they've mitigated the run game from the ACU Wildcats. They've essentially made them one-dimensional. Anytime you can make a team one-dimensional, it's feast or famine for the defense.
Champ Lewis is a transfer from TCU. He never started for the Horned Frogs, but he played as a backup in over 20 games. A loss for Tulsa. Kirk Francis turned the wrong direction.
That's the 2nd time in a row. Now, it actually worked out for him the last time, right? Because Dominique Richardson took it to the house for a touchdown. But quarterback and running back exchange has been off the last 2 plays for the Golden Hurricane offense.
So Braylon Presley checks in at running back. 2nd down and 12. Trying to float it out to him, and nobody's home. It's incomplete. It's 3rd and long for Tulsa.
And we talked about it earlier. These DBs are starting to trigger on that screenplay. They understand that Trey Lamb wants to get the ball in space to his playmakers. Right there, they're just trying to get the ball to Braylon Presley on the screenplay to the outside. Tyson Williams triggers right away. If Kirk Francis throws that pass, and this might be intentional grounding because he was in the pocket.
Grounding, number 11, offense. Ball sit down to the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
And James, that play was made by Tyson Williams, number 4, because he triggered. And if Kirk Francis throws that, it's a pick 6.
That's a huge loss. 3rd and 22. Dominic Richardson is the running back. Obvious passing down for Francis. Underneath, he hits tees close to the 30. Another flag comes out on the far sideline, right in front of the ACU bench. Tulsa's been penalized 7 times tonight.
Sideline warning, Abilene Christian.
So no penalty, it's a warning. It's 4th down and forever.
The result of the play is 4th down.
Look at the first 3 drives for Abilene Christian, 164 yards, but since then, their last 6 drives, just 27 yards.
And it's been the negative plays, right? Stone Earl gets sacked one play. Obviously, the center jumps offside on the last 3rd down when it was like 3rd and 3. Like, you cannot shoot yourself in the foot when you're the underdog on the road. Never think.
Presley, tight roping, he stepped out of bounds. But he has the 1st down.
He's at the up back position, and you got to call it out because he's definitely usually not on the punt team blocking down the field. That's a nice job by Trey Lamb, sneaking in one of his better playmakers. Again, Braylon Presley, if he gets to the outside, he is so dynamic, he can make a play for this Golden Hurricane offense.
16 yards and well executed. Richardson in it tailback. They grab him by his ankles. Gets a yard on the carry. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Golden Hurricane.
Yeah, Cortland Rousseau does a really good job disengaging some player down right now. And I believe that is Rousseau who made the tackle on that play.
Timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
Rousseau's a 5th-year senior. Didn't play last season. He was a backup. Played 10 games for North Texas 2 seasons ago.
Looks like it could be a cramp by the big man. They're trying to stretch out his calf and leg right now. Hope he's okay.
32 seconds before we break for the fourth quarter. 21-0. Tulsa on top. They led 10-0 at halftime. They've churned out 363 yards of total offense. They had 2 fourth-down stops in the first half. Dominic Richardson finally broke one open with a 57-yard touchdown run. He's now at 19 carries for 137 yards, over 7 yards per rush.
And James, it's the body blows that Dominic Robinson gives you. Again, at 6 foot, 210, 215 pounds, he's weighing on this Wildcat defense. And there was a miscommunication between the quarterback and running back, but it actually kind of helped him out on that play. He's able to get to the open space. We're not able to bring him down. And yes, we talk about him being a power back, but we saw some speed on the outside to get the edge and also get into the end zone for a touchdown.
And he's had some really big games. He had 169 yards, a career high when he was at Baylor during the COVID year back in 2020. Had 109 yards, just couldn't get himself on the field at New Mexico State last year. Battled through some injuries. He's from Oklahoma City, went to Bishop McGuinness High School. Well, Tulsa will let this wind down and take us into the fourth quarter. The debut for Trey Lamb and this coaching staff, and Tulsa has a 3-touchdown lead as we head to the fourth quarter. The 57-yard burst from Richardson. Tulsa by 21. Start of the fourth quarter, Tulsa leads Abilene Christian 21-0. Tulsa with 363 yards of total offense. They're just 6 yards away from 200, and they dominated that third quarter. Outgained ACU 167-15. Play action. Francis. T's coming back. He's got it.
They find a real rhythm in this RPO game. Again, back shoulder fade. Nice read by Kirk Francis to pull the ball in man coverage. Looks the safety off. T's crafty move at the top of the route to create some separation. And you underthrow it. You always want to underthrow that if you're a quarterback so your receiver can work back to the field.
27 yards. Good for a first down. Tulsa in the red area inside the 30. Richardson up the gut. Churning those legs. Tulsa starting to wear down the ACU defense to the tune of 7 yards on that carry.
And Dominique Richardson's already over plus 20 carries, right? He's their workhorse today. 20 rushes for 142 yards. Coaching staff talked about it. They feel like he can be an all-conference running back in this conference.
A.J. Allen gives him a breather. Play fake. Wide open. Backyard football. Brody Foley on the receiving end. It's a touchdown.
You gotta love the tight end love for Brody Foley. He's been doing all the dirty work for them, James, all game long. Right there, fake screen and go. Miscommunication by the back end, and he's wide open down the seam for easy pitch and catch. Right, they fake the screen and go. The DB goes out with him. Nobody's over the top. Easy throw for Kirk Francis to Brody Foley for a touchdown.
Francis 3 for 3 on that drive, 59 yards. His best series of the night. Point after is through, and Tulsa leads it by 28 yards. 28 points. Timeout on the field. Back here in Tulsa, that was an impressive drive. 8 plays, 71 yards, 3:18 off the clock.
Kirk Francis in full command right there, back shoulder fade. Then he finds his tight end wide open on a miscommunication by the Wildcats defense on a screen and go. he, again, continues to grow right before our eyes, gaining that confidence that his head coach, Trey Lamb, said he wanted to instill in the young quarterback.
A minute gone by here in this fourth quarter. 28-point difference. Tulsa on top here in the Trey Lamb debut. That's a touchback. It'll bring it out to the 25. This is a very different looking Tulsa offense. Defensively, they've got some dudes on that side of the ball.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what happens when you open up the NIL. And you see it right there. Last time they were shut out was 1995 by Northern Arizona. So this Golden Hurricane defense has played really well. You talked about it, James. It was bend, don't break in the first half, but in this second half, they've started to get after this Wildcats offense.
1st and 10, ACU. They pitch it out. Vaughn trying to turn the corner. Pulls through one would-be tackle. 3 Tulsa defenders there to hammer him out of bounds after a gain of 10.
Nice misdirection right there by offensive coordinator Graham Harrell. You got pullers coming back left, but it's a toss out to the right. Nice blocking on the outside by number 88, Jed Castles, to get Jordan Vaughn the edge.
The offensive coordinator for Abilene Christian is former Texas Tech quarterback and College Football Hall of Famer Graham Harrell. Threw for over 5,300 yards. Back-to-back seasons with the Red Raiders back in the day. J.J. Henry, the intended target, trapped it. It's incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
That was a nice job by the offensive line. They gave Stone Earl a lot of time in the pocket. He was able to go through his progressions, finds his #1 target. J.J. Henry just isn't able to come down with the catch.
Second down, Earl, quick throw, Henry in the pocket, hit immediately by Ray Coney, who's been all over the field tonight.
I mean, it's like he's almost has the playbook for the Wildcats offense. And again, that's a tough tackle in space versus one of their more shiftier players, and J.J. Henry. Nice job by Ray Coney at tackling J.J. Henry in space right there.
That was his 14th tackle tonight. 3rd and 6.
Got 5 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Twist up front. They wing it, and it's intercepted by Green. The first turnover of the game belongs to the Tulsa defense.
So that's the nice job by Elijah Green. He's baiting this throw the whole way. It's cover 2, 2 high safeties. He's a flat defender, but he knows it's 3rd and 7, so they got to at least run to the sticks. He gets some depth, plays with vision to the quarterback, and then just breaks on the football and gets a big turnover for the Golden Hurricane. Again, I talked about it earlier, Jay. I really loved watching him play as a freshman last year. Got dinged up, long rangy corner. You see it at 6'2", and he has really good instincts. You saw it right there in zone coverage.
1st and 10, Golden Hurricane. Missed opportunities tonight for ACU. A.J. Allen stutter steps, burrows to the 40. The co-offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach is Brad Robbins. We met with him last night. He came to Tulsa from UConn. Set 7 school records last season. UConn went 9-4. They scored 32 points per game, their best in 9 years. He's another up-and-comer in this industry. Francis down the seam. Almost caught. Intended for Mekhi Miller.
I mean, and Kirk Francis is feeling it right now because he let that ball go before Mekhi Miller came out of his break. He threw it to a spot. Mekhi Miller just isn't able to corral the ball and come down with it.
TJ Marshall on the coverage. 3rd and 5 for the Golden Hurricane. Allen shoots up the middle. Allen showing him his nameplate. It's a touchdown, 40 yards.
I mean, what a jump cut by A.J. Allen. Number 7, T.J. Marshall, comes down in the alley, and it's one-on-one. You're going to see it in the middle of the screen. He makes him miss, and he gets to pay dirt. Nice read also by Kurt Francis on the zone read. The defensive end decides to go for the quarterback. He hands it to his running back. You're going to see it right here. Whoop! Made him miss in open space. Nice move by A.J. Allen, making the safety, number 7, T.J. Marshall, missing space, and then getting to pay dirt.
4-star recruit out of high school, originally signed and played for Miami. 35-0. Tulsa has broken this game wide open here in the second half.
What a play by A.J. Allen. Makes the safety miss, and he's got reservations for 6 in the end zone.
$35-0. Tulsa leads it after a 40-yard dash by A.J. Allen. 3 plays, 45 yards. From Monroe, Louisiana. Spent time at Miami, also spent 1 season at Nebraska. In high school, they called him Quick Six because of those long touchdown runs. Into the end zone for a touchback, and all of a sudden, this is a 35-point game. It was expected to be much, much closer than this. Abilene Christian had some chances in the first half. In the second half, what does that say about first-year coach Trey Lamb and some of the adjustments he made?
Correct. It's all about the adjustments. We talked about the RPO game. He found something there in regards to knowing that the Wildcats were going to play a lot of man coverage on the outside, and he trusts his playmakers and his young quarterback to make plays when it's their time to make plays. But also, we have to give some love to this Golden Hurricane defense. They've been stout this second half.
First and 10. Rovon Banks has checked in at tailback for the Wildcats. Off right tackle, picks up 3 yards, and it's 2nd and 7.
Now if you're Trey Lamb, it's all about finishing it correctly, right, for your team. That's what you want to build that culture the right way. You're up 35 to nothing right now. Don't let up. Right? Continue to play at a high level as far as your effort and your execution.
Earl, quarterback draw. They had success with this in the first half. Picks up 4, makes it a manageable 3rd and short.
Yeah, they've been in this position multiple times, but it's been the pre-snap penalties that have hurt them on 3rd down.
3rd and 1. Play action. Earl takes off. Earl with a lane. Earl still on his feet. Down to the 44-yard line, his longest gain of the night, 22 yards.
That's a nice job because he has a defender in his face, fresh off the edge. He pump fakes, is able to get north and south, get a big gain on 3rd down to move the chains.
Going to the air. Twisted down, it's a sack. Second sack of the night for Brian Turner.
Byron Turner does a really good job coming off the end, winning with hands, just continuing to work, right? He doesn't win initially. Nice job by the secondary for the Golden Hurricane. That's a coverage sack. Right here, he gets hit by 2 guys, continues to work. That's the effort, if you're defensive coordinator Josh Reardon, you want to see. Relentless effort to the quarterback.
Up the gut, gain of just a yard. Tim Hardman's checked in, a backup defensive tackle. 3rd down. 3rd and 19 for ACU.
Replay.
And they'll blow it dead.
Offside, number 19 defense. Enter the neutral zone and cause the offense to react. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That was Ty Cooper. Third and 14. Just inside midfield. Earl climbing the pocket. A flag is out. Dashes ahead for 5.
They get another shot at it. Offsides again by the Tulsa D-line.
Offside, defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
Joe Yelly right over the nose of the football.
Yeah, he jumped offside and wasn't able to get back before they snapped the football.
Another 3rd down play.
Timeout. Abilene Christian, their first of the half.
We'll take it with them with 8:49 left in the game. 3rd and 9 when we come back. Tulsa in a runaway. watching The American on ESPN. Official attendance a little under 18,000 for the opener. He's Lige Duzable. I'm James Westling. Tulsa blanking Abilene Christian 35-0 with 8:49 to go in the game. 3rd down and 9 for the Wildcats. 4 for 13 tonight on 3rd downs. Earl out of the pocket has a man wide open. Gibson, they track him down from behind and shove him out of bounds around the 20.
And this is great pocket awareness by Stone Earl. He does a nice job shifting up into the pocket. Looks like he's about to run, and then you see Javon Gibson uncover himself. He finds his big receiver in zone coverage for a big completion on 3rd down.
It's good for 25 yards. From inside the 20, Earl dancing, looking for a lane, leaping to the 14. Josh Anglin and Elijah Green combine on the tackle. I really like Anglin. He's a transfer from North Alabama. Was an FCS freshman All-American last year. He's only a sophomore.
Yeah, James, we had that game last year versus Memphis. He was all over the field, and coaches said he would rotate in tonight.
On 2nd down and 6. Up the gut, ball's out. Abilene Christian able to cover it up. It's a minimal gain. Down to the 12-yard line. And Ashton Williams forced the fumble.
That's a nice job from the middle field safety. Coming downhill, attacking the football by Ashton Williams.
Another 3rd down. 3rd and 3. Blitz. Right side run. Vaughn will be short. 4th and 1. 4th down has been ACU's Achilles heel all night long.
This in the low red zone like they're in right now. They've been stopped multiple times down at this portion of the field. It's a nice job by the Golden Hurricane rallying to the football and stopping that before he crosses that 1st down marker.
4th and 1. They run it. Earl keeps. Earl has the angle and a touchdown. And the shutout is no more.
And that's a nice read by Stone Earl because they bring some pressure off of his right side, but everybody crashes down to get the running back. He pulls the ball, gets to the outside. Nice block by number 7, Javon Gibson, to spring his quarterback on the edge to get that touchdown.
Faked out everybody. It's an 11-yard touchdown run by the quarterback.
You can't see it up top, but there he is, Javon Gibson, a nice block right there to set his quarterback free to get into the end zone. If you're head coach Keith Patterson, you have to love how your team continued to fight. They had an ugly 3rd quarter, but that was a big, gutsy drive right there to show that this team still has fight in them.
The kick is good.
Kyler Meskey on for the point after, puts it through, and it's 35-7. Our new score, 10 plays, 75 yards. A little over 5 minutes taken off the stadium clock.
And James, we talked about it, right? I was saying if you're head coach Trey Lamb, you want to finish this thing out right? Too many pre-snap penalties for the Golden Hurricane defense, which allowed that drive to continue. Remember, they had 2 false starts, which is 10 yards right there. They were in 3rd and 19. Got to 3rd and 9, and we saw Stone Earl was able to move up into the pocket, find Javon Gibson for a crucial 1st down, and then he pays it off right there on the zone read, getting to the end zone. So if you're Trey Lamb, that would be a coaching point for your team. Like, guys, we have to finish the game the right way. You've played really well for 3.5 quarters. We cannot continue to allow them to extend their drives because of pre-snap penalties.
Stone Earl had 33 yards rushing on that drive. Well, if coach is at all superstitious, that score was a good thing, because the last time Tulsa shut out an opponent in their opener was 14 years ago, and it was their only win that year. Emmers drops to a knee. That'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. The American on ESPN Plus is home to 40+ college football games. Over 1,000 exclusive live events in every American Conference championship throughout the entire season. For more information and to sign up, visit stream.espn.com. NCAAsports.com. There's a look at Coach Lamb. Stephen Kittleman is checked in at quarterback, the fifth-year senior from right here in Tulsa. Giving him some reps here in the late stages. Hands it off to Allen. Allen plunges forward for 3. Baylor Hayes is another quarterback in that room for Tulsa. They said the competition was closer than you might think in camp between Francis and Hayes. They like the redshirt freshman who came with Coach Lamb from East Tennessee State.
And obviously Hayes, already familiar with the offense, had an upper hand, but that shows you the grittiness of Kurt Francis to come in, learn the offense, and get all his teammates to believe in him.
Kittleman got some playing time last year and completed all 3 of his passes. 2nd down and 7. On the ground, Allen. Close to the 1st down, and he has it. Tulsa has some running backs between Dominic Richardson and A.J. Allen. Braylon Presley, they're getting him the ball more this year. That's been a point of emphasis for this new coaching staff. He's a holdover.
Yeah, and A.J. Allen is getting his opportunity again because Savion Morris got hurt in training camp, but he's paid dividends, right? He's taken full advantage of his opportunity. He's got some shiftiness to him. You got Braylon Presley, who's like that lightning bug. You also have Dominique Richardson, who's more of that thunder, the physical back. Allen's a nice combination of the two.
Weaving through traffic, Kelvin Washington with a gain of 6. 5th different rusher tonight for Tulsa.
On the play, 2nd down.
These are critical plays for a lot of these backups that are coming in for the Golden Hurricane offense because you just never know who you're going to have to depend on throughout the season. It's a long season, 12-plus games. Hopefully it's plus if you get to a bowl game. So these are crucial reps for some of these young players getting in the game right now.
2nd down and 4. Less than 5 minutes left in the game. Kittleman airing it out, throws it a jump ball up high. It's incomplete, intended for Josh Smith. Christian Oku on the coverage. 3rd and 4 for the Tulsa offense.
And that's Trey Lamb just trying to get his big receiver involved. He talked about him being more of a jump ball, red zone guy. They tried it earlier in the red zone. They weren't able to get a connection on him. Right there, he's in one-on-one coverage. Kittleman tries to throw it up and seeing if his receiver can high point the football, but he isn't able to come down with the catch. It's nice coverage right there on the outside. Christian Oku.
Tulsa 7 for 16 on 3rd downs. Jet sweep. Emmers has the first. Maneuvering into ACU territory, Wilcox making the tackle for the Wildcats, a backup safety.
And that's where Trey Lamb has found a lot of success on these speed sweeps on the outside, the perimeter. The Wildcat defense has lost leverage too many times, and it's been Braylon Presley, it's been Jacob Emmers. They've been able to come around the corner and get positive yardage.
Trey Lamb, when he got the job, said his #1 goal after he met with all the guys was he had to make football fun again. He says these guys had taken so many L's, long practices. They all hated football, so that was his #1 goal, was to make it fun, play loose, play free, and enjoy the sport.
Well, I guarantee you they had fun tonight, James, right? 35 points on offense. The defense almost nearly a shutout. They gave up a score late. They played really well in all 3 phases of the game.
Gain of a couple for Washington at 2nd down and 8. Now, if you're a starter, Elijah, you were a starter at UCF, all-league guy, played in the NFL. So late in games like this, you were one of the guys on the sideline watching the backups. What's it like from that perspective? Are you still engaged, still in the game?
Oh, for sure. You're always happy for the young guys when they get those reps, right? I actually became kind of like a coach when I was on the sideline. And it actually happened to me multiple times my senior year because we actually had a really good team. So there was times where we were up by like 30 points, and I could go out there and just coach the younger guys.
This play could be coming back. There's a flag out.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Wipes off a 29-yard pickup.
And that's the issue when you have an RPO, right? Because the offensive line is blocking like it's run because it is a run play for them. And if the quarterback doesn't throw that ball right away, you're going to get that, illegal man down the field penalty.
Makes it 2nd down and 12 to gain for Tulsa with 2:45 clock ticking to play in the game. Kittleman, they are letting him throw, and he checks it down underneath. It's a gain of 7, reeled in by Calvin Johnson II.
Yeah, and he's just running the offense, right? RPO again. The cornerback is off. He's reading that corner. He throws it to the outside. It's still a run call, but if he reads off coverage, he's going to throw it to his receiver.
3rd and 4. They get it off just before the 2-minute warning, and Allen jitterbugs for a gain of 3 to the 40-yard line. Boone Morris
2-minute timeout.
makes the tackle. The 2-minute timeout is upon us. Tulsa in control. The Trey Lamb era about to be 1-0. Trey Lamb's about to be 1-0 in his debut. Upcoming Tulsa schedule at New Mexico State, and then Navy at home in 2 weeks, and then at Oklahoma State on September 19th for Tulane and Memphis. At Oklahoma State becomes real interesting with the Cowboys losing their starting quarterback on Thursday, Haas Haney, after his 3rd series. They went on to beat UT Martin 27-7. Tulsa's got a 35-7 lead over an Abilene Christian team that was ranked 16th in the preseason FCS Top 25. UT Martin was receiving votes just outside the top 25. 1st and 10 Tulsa. They went for it there on 4th down. They can probably run out the clock now. 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Kittleman drops to a knee. But your thoughts on Tulsa's upcoming schedule with New Mexico State and then Navy and then the Pokes?
When we talked to Coach Trey Lamb, he said with the moves they made with the NIL and the transfer portal that he felt like they would be really competitive in every game, right? They have New Mexico State, I believe, was on the schedule. Obviously, the Oklahoma State game, you talked about it. We called that game Thursday. Their offense looked totally different when Haas Haney wasn't there, and that's a rivalry game, right? So that one's going to be really interesting. They still have to deal with Navy coming up, and we know anytime you play a team for the academy, it's going to be a physical type of game. So I like what we saw tonight. I think they're heading in the right direction, and I talked about it in the opener. If there's any coach that can adapt to the new era of college football, it's Trey Lamb because he's done it the last 3 years at 3 different spots.
Third down. They'll kneel it one more time, and Tulsa will have their first win of the Trey Lamb era of the season. All the storylines between these two programs. This was a homecoming game for a lot of ACU players, for their head coach, Keith Patterson. There's a lot of local talent on this Tulsa team, and that's been a point of emphasis for Trey Lamb. As you see the two coaches embrace at midfield, Tulsa wins it 35-7.
Yeah, if you're Trey Lamb, you have to love how your team came out here and fought. And then the big emphasis was, we talked to them, and with so many new players, you just never know how your team's going to react to adversity. We saw this defense really, the Wildcat offense move the ball up and down the field on them in the first half. But when they needed to bow their backs, when they needed to stand up tall, when they needed to handle that adversity in the low red zone, they were able to do that, and they came away with crucial stops twice in the low red zone that really swung the game in the Golden Hurricane favor.
Our final score from Tulsa 35, Abilene Christian 7, and we are now joined by Coach Trey Lamb. Coach, you told us last night that, hey, we look pretty good in practice, but you just never know until you take the field. What did you like most about the way your team played?
Yeah, I just like the way we finished the game. You know, I challenged them at halftime to have a killer instinct. It was 13-0, and Tulsa's had a history of blowing some second-half leads in the last few years, and we got to be great in the second half, so I was really proud of that. Proud of our defense, the goal line stops in the first half. If we don't get those probably a different game. That's a really good football team. They took Texas Tech to the 2 overtimes last year, and we all know how good they are, so Coach Patterson does a great job.
Coach, talk about the fortitude of your defense. I know when we talk to you, you just never know how a team's going to handle adversity because a lot of these players are new to your team. Just talk about how they were able to stand up tall against that adversity when the Wildcat offense was moving the ball up and down the field. Those 2 goal line stops were so crucial, and it showed some character on your team.
Yeah, you know, bend but don't break, and we really talked about that the first half because we had no idea what they were going to run. Graham Harrell's been coordinating at 4 or 5 different schools in his career, and we were expecting a little more air raid, and they came out and ran some quarterback runs and some GT counter, and we settled in the second half. But if those 4th and 1s, man, all we talk about is give us a leg to stand on, give us an inch to stand on. That was weight room. That was off season. That was our summer training, and really proud of our guys.
Trey, what halftime adjustments did you make that led to, 25 of your 35 in the final 2 quarters?
Yeah, I just wanted to take some shots in the second half. We felt like, we were running the ball 5 yards a carry in the first half and probably should have ran it more, to be honest with you. And we knew they were going to wilt, and they were loading the box, and then we wanted to take some shots. Micah Tees made some big plays. Brody Foley on the tight end leak right there was a big play. So we hit some big plays. We knew it was going to be that way. They loaded the box in the second half, and our quarterback, I thought, played really well.
And that's where I was going to go next. We got to talk about your young quarterback, Kurt Francis, because when we were having our meetings with you, you were saying you didn't know how he was going to handle the operation. You saw it in practice, but it's a totally different thing in the game. Right, yeah. I love the second half adjustments. You saw that they were going to load the box, some RPOs. He made the right reads going to receivers in one-on-one situations. Talk about the growth you saw from him throughout the game.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of him. You never know at that position till the lights come on and you get hit for the first time. Luckily, he's played some football. I'll tell you what, I watched college football all morning and through the week last week, and there's some bad quarterback play across the country now. I'm telling you, the points are down. And there's some bad quarterback play. So if you got a trigger man that you trust, and I trust him, no turnovers. He had a couple misses on a couple RPO slants. I thought he threw high. But other than that, I just tell you, I trust the guy. I feel very comfortable calling plays with him.
All right, Trey, congrats on the win, 35-7. You're 1-0.
That's it, baby. 1 in a row. Rain came.
Head coach Trey Lamb joining us here post-game Tulsa wins it 35-7. For Lige Duzable, I'm James Westling. What a showing by the Golden Hurricane. So long from H.A. Chapman Stadium in Tulsa, where Tulsa gets off to a 1-0 start for the 2025 season.